Hey, so I want to talk about how fraud and abuse in the Medicare system is real common in normal everyday probate cases. And once you start seeing it, you will not be able to unsee it. The bottom line is this. Oftentimes in probate cases, we have a sibling that comes and says, look, the other kid, the other sibling was living with mom, dad. They transferred money to him, transferred house to him in order to qualify for Medicaid. Mom was put into a facility and the other kid went and blew all the money. There are attorneys out there that participate in what they call Medicare or Medicaid planning. It's very technical, it's very sophisticated. It can be done ethically, it can be done properly, but there are also massive amounts of abuse that are out there, and I want to highlight that. We're hearing a lot in the news about fraud and abuse, right? They're circulating up in Minnesota, and they're talking about obviously some really extreme examples of that. And they're going to come away with big numbers. They're going to find massive amounts of fraud up there because there's massive amounts of fraud everywhere. But what I want the quote normal person to understand is that normal everyday walk of life people can be engaging in Medicare, Medicaid fraud and abuse, and we're in a profoundly more intense regulatory environment, and they're going to find you. Here's the bottom line. This American Council on Aging report does a really good job to talk about what is Medicaid and Medicare fraud. But what you need to understand, if mom or dad are aging and they've got assets and you're trying to figure out a way to burn those assets, get them in your name so that you can have mom qualify for Medicaid or Medicare and not use her assets, you're going to have some real problems. There's no question but that it was massively out of control in the years past. And there's no question that some of this focus that you see from the White House and Musk and the other places, like it or not, is real. There's an extraordinary amount of assets that are being placed into this right now, and they're going to come after people. So if you're involved in an estate, you got to be really careful about what those assets are that are left. If you're involved in, trying to quote prepare mom or dad for going into a facility, you need to be really, really careful about what's happening with assets to qualify them for Medicaid and Medicare. I think, again, a lot of attorneys out there that have been engaged in this, and they're going to sharpen their pencils and be real clear about what the new rules are, and be very clear with individuals, kids in particular, about what they are doing. Because this Medicare fraud that we see over and over again, Florida's a hot spot. There are task forces in Florida. But what I want people to understand is if they've got a sibling that is engaged in this, be very careful and not participate in it.